This video is brought to you by Dave Demented. Thank you for being a farm baron. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hof Bergmann Explained. Today, we're going to conclude our tour of the animals here on Hof Bergmann with pigs. So we have three distinct types of pigs that we're going to take a look at today. We have breeding pigs, which simply reproduce. We have regular pigs, which also reproduce. And then we have piglets. And piglets are kind of an interesting thing. They do not have the capability of growing up into adult pigs. They kind of have their own destiny in life. So we have the main pig barn, which is what we're looking at right here. We can deliver our pigs to the main pig barn right here at this gate. We have a furrowing barn back here behind the pig yard. And this area is going to support one pig and one pig alone, as well as piglets. So its delivery point is right here at the door. And then we have the pig breeding facility. Here we have the pig breeding facility, and it is set up with three distinct pig breeding barns. Barn 1, Barn 2, and Barn 3. They are all identical other than the numbers on the side. So let's just go ahead and jump back to the house because that is just the easiest spot to acquire our animals. We can obviously get them here in the kitchen, or we can go down to the animal dealer and buy them. This is just easier for demonstration purposes. So first off, our farrowing pen. So a farrowing pen will accept pig red pigletting. Okay, that's the one we want for our furrowing barn. Confirm there. Then we want to go to pig enclosure, which is the one here at the barn. It's going to take 30 pigs. We can go ahead and just pick out whatever we want. Let's go with 10 black pigs, 30 pigs for this particular area. Then we have the choice of pig shed 3 breeding pigs. Okay, we have breeding pig red or breeding pig white. Let's just get 10 of each. 200 possible in all the breeding buildings. Shed 1. And then shed 2. We're going to mix just for demonstration purposes. Now let's go ahead and take a look at all of those animal areas and see what they require. So our furrowing pen is going to require straw. And then as far as food requirement goes, we could feed them pig food for 100% effectiveness. We could feed them soybeans, corn, and beet chips for 70% effectiveness. And we could feed them spent grain for 30% effectiveness. So we learned with our sheep and goat video how to get spent grain and what that is. Beet chips are something that we're going to take and have a closer look at in another video, but we basically need to use a beet chipper or a beet grinder in order to make beet chips. We are going to take a look at pig food in this video because it is completely different than making pig food base game. Now let's take a look at our pig enclosure. We have our 10 black pigs, straw pellets, pig food. Okay, actually let's go back up to our furrowing pen. You'll see they reproduce. We're not going to have any reproduction in the furrowing pen. We're going to put manure out, and they're going to produce piglets. The regular pig enclosure, they are indeed going to reproduce. They're going to produce manure, and slurry. The breeding pigs, they are going to reproduce. They're going to produce manure, slurry, and animal cadavers. That's right. It's a hard story to talk about, but it's a hard life as a breeding pig. They live hard. They live short. They do die. We will have to dispose of our animal cadavers at some point in this video. They're going to require straw pellets, pig food, all of the same general comparisons, and that's going to hold across all three of the breeding facilities. Okay? So let's take a look at basically what is required to make pig food. Now, I do have a big bag of pig food here we could go and make use of. But I also have this right here. This is a pig food mixer. So we want to enter this, start its engine. It is battery operated, and we can back it out. We can just put it right here for now. And if we look at our F1 menu, you can see that it's going to take potatoes and some other icon. We really don't know what that is. Well, what that is whole grain. So our pig food consists of a mixture of potatoes and whole grain. Well, you can tell by the big bag of whole grain here, one of the ways to get whole grain is to buy it at the shop. Let's take a look at this. So if we go to objects and then animal supplies, we can buy a big bag of whole grain, 2,000 liters of whole grain for $500. We could also buy 2,000 liters of pig food for $2,000. Now, I've also picked up, just for fun, some small straw bales. These are 250 liters apiece. And I wanted to see if I could put straw bales in the furrowing pen with this. So when I was testing this out, I used a wheelbarrow. I want to see if I can do this. Awesome. Something else is we need to turn on the heating lamps. That'll keep our piglets nice and warm. And we could, if we wanted to, turn on our main lights in here. You'll notice none of the pigs require water. For the sake of the gameplay, let's just say that the pigs auto water them. They have an auto waterer. Okay. But I think this is cool. We can now, we don't need super strength to move the 250 liter bales. We can move those on our very own. And we can produce whole grain. We don't have to buy whole grain. We can indeed produce whole grain. So where do we produce whole grain at? Well, we produce whole grain over here at the grain mill, of course. So I have a load of wheat down here at the grain mill. And you'll see that the grain mill takes wheat, barley, oats, and converts it to whole grain. So this is the location where we dump our wheat, barley, or oats. And you'll hear the mill kick in. This is where we are going to get out our whole grain here in a little bit. But let's go back to the farm. And look at mixing up a load of pig food in our little mixer. So we use the Kramer with the big bag loader, a big bag lifter. So what we're doing right here is I am mixing up the wrong ratio. And this is future FARMER-KLEIN coming from you during the editing process. As you can see from the F1 screen, we need twice as much potato as whole grain to get the right mix. So putting 2,000 liters of whole grain in is not going to leave enough capacity in the cart to add the proper amount of potatoes. So in this case, it's 2,000 liters of potatoes to 1,000 liters of whole grain. That is the correct mix. I'm going to go ahead and jump the video forward to where we have the proper mix in the mixer and move on from there. So now we have our proper ratio. Sorry for that mix up. We'll enter this. We'll turn on the mixer. And you'll see we have a 1-minute timer now while our pig food mixer is mixing up his pig food. Let's see, we can tip side left or right. Go first person camera. And down in the bottom right, you'll see it says wrong mixture. Now, once we get to 1 minute of processing time, that will flip over to pig food. And you'll also see the texture then change in the mixer. So now it says pig food, and we can dispense our pig food. Just like our calf milk machine, this is battery operated. We will need to use a charger to charge this up. I wasn't sure if this would fit, but cool, it does. It's a little tight. We should go tip side. Tip side pipe unload. Going tip side left. Of course, we could also choose to use a wheelbarrow. That probably would have been a bit more effective and probably a smarter move. But hey, I'm going to try out our new mixing cart, and it works. All right, so our furrowing pig, he is good to go, or she is good to go. We don't need to worry about mixing up any more pig food or straw for that pig at the moment. And just like the other milk taxi, here we have a charging station for this particular food mixer. Now let's jump over to the breeding facility because we've got a little bit different setup over here, at least to make our pig food. And that is that we have a stationary pig food mixer right over here. And this will make a lot of pig food. We still need whole grain and potatoes. And what we need to do is we need to actually put the whole grain in the top and the potatoes in the top. And with that, we're going to use this Can Agro auger. This has come with the map. So let's take a look here. Now, our pig food mixer, we had here under objects and production equipment. There is our pig food mixer. Oh, there's the pipe. Okay. And this is under auger wagons, I believe. It's not. Can Agro. So here it is. You get it under the brands Can Agro. It's definitely under there. This is also battery operated. And we have to enter it. And we can position this where we need it to be. Left click up and down will raise and lower it. Left click, right click, left and right will extend it. And B will turn it on when the time comes. So let's jump back over here to our mill. And see, we do have a little bit of whole grain made up. Go ahead and just fast forward time a little bit. And before it gets too terrible late, let's jump down here. I got one more thing set up I wanted to show. And that is down here at the animal dealer, we can actually buy PMR mixing ratio for our cows, or we can buy pig food. So let's stop it there. 4,000 liters for about $10,500. That's pretty expensive. Hands down, that is pretty darn expensive. But it is an option. So I'm going to go ahead and take this pig food back to the main farm. And we're going to fast forward to tomorrow morning. And by at that point in time, our whole grain should be mixed up at the mill. Well, good morning. And I wanted to try and just see. So we can use these small straw bales here in the pig area also. Makes me wonder if we could use the small straw bales over in the in the sheep pen. So our whole grain should be done, but I do just want to remind you that we could make, if we wanted to, at any time with either purchased pig food, like we have here, or with produced pig food, we could at any time use our big bag maker and make big bags of pig food. And to that end, inside of the horse, or not the horse, but the pig enclosure here, there is a big bag rack that you can put a big bag of pig food on, which would make feeding in here a lot easier with a wheelbarrow. There is a wheelbarrow provided right in here. This is in new farmer mode. The wheelbarrow is there. And we will have to come inside of both a furrowing pen and this pen in order to get the manure out. So we could pile the manure up over there if we wanted to. It's not going to auto spawn over there. We will have to take it over there. Let's go ahead and get our whole grain. And I'll meet you over at the pig breeding facility so we can make our pig food over there. So over here, once again, we need to enter this, turn it on. By starting the engine, or flipping the switch, with enter and turning it on with B. This thing has kind of a tongue on it, so we need to come at it at an angle. We need to change to skip side grain door. Let me see, we are now putting whole grain into our pig food mixer. This will take a little bit of time, so I'll come back with you once we get this done. And then we'll add a load of potatoes to the mix. So unlike the small mixer, we don't need to worry about our ratios so much with this mixer. Just go ahead and fill it up if you wanted to with potatoes and whole grain to the maximum capacity. And while that is running, let's go ahead and put straw in our areas. So the food trough and the straw are right here. We do have a little bit of storage over here at the breeding pig area. we could, if we wanted to, tip product into here. This does have collisions on it. Looks like our potatoes are done unloading. Turn our auger off. This thing has really neat details. Like we've got levers that work, an on and off indicator. Up here, the chains rotate. Really great quality. Really high quality product. And this comes with the map. So the next question is going to be, where does this come from? So once we have product in here, we turn it on by hitting I. And we know it's running. And it's got the beacon and we can hear it. So now we are going to be making some pig food. Let's pick up a little bit of time here. All right, now that we got a little bit of pig food made up, let's talk about this thing. I brought this thing over from the main farm because I wanted to demonstrate this silo. So there's 3 of these on the map. There's 1 over here and the 2 over by the main farm. This is a silo, and you put product into it by using the silo hopper. So let's show you how that works. We will come up here and open the cover. We will fill this with product. I believe this silo hopper holds 8,000 liters of product. And this has gone through a few revisions over the years of Hof Bergmann. This has been around since the inception of Hof Bergmann for FARMER-KLEIN, but it's gone through a couple different iterations as far as how it works. This is how it works for version 1.0.0.8. Now, I am not using the manure mod with this particular series, so if you add the manure mod, you probably will need to hook up the hoses. Without the manure mod, you just back up to this and you hit I, and you'll notice that we now have a label on it, pig food, and we have a capacity. So we can use the silo hopper to transfer product into these silos that are scattered around. One is here at the production or the pig breeding facility, and then one is over at, or 2 are over at the main farm. Just get product out, you just back up underneath of it. That should be good. You can see we've already started producing a little bit of manure. So for the breeding barns here, manure spawns in the alleyway that we drive in. Pig food is too accepted here. So now these guys are fully fed. They have their straw. They're automatically watered, so we don't have to worry about that. So we have our furrowing pen. Now we just need to wait for them to, well, make little piglets. We've already gotten our first pig, in the main pig enclosure at the main farm. Got a reproduction rate of 13.5 hours for those. Our breeding pig facility, we just got them fed, so they'll now start recognizing reproduction. Let's speed up time a little bit. You see the pig food star is now empty, so it has run its course. It's made all of its pig food. So we're going to get a new pig here every 28 hours at the breeding pig facility. Here we only have 5 of each, so they're going to take a little bit longer to reproduce. But 28 hours for 10 pigs. So it's a slower reproduction rate than it is for regular pigs. Now, as far as slurry, you're going to be able to get the slurry for all 3 breeding pig areas from right here. We've already seen the manure is something we're going to have to clean out on our own, and then we can put that over there just for storage, should we so wish. Let's jump back to here. Now these are just going to reproduce just like base game pigs. Nothing special there. Their numbers are just going to increase in time. What's really cool, and what's probably the most funniest part, is this building, the furrowing pigs. So here you have our first little baby piglet. First little piglet. Now it is not quite fully grown yet. It is only at 28%. Let's just go ahead and speed up the clock. And we're going to see him jump in size. Boom, he just jumped in size. There are, I think, 3 growth stages for our pigs. When he is at 100%, he is... Or he's at fully grown, he is at 100 liters. So let's just go ahead and... Is my light on here? Okay, it's on. Let's just for fun, because I think it's hilarious when these things drop out of the sky. Let's go ahead and fast forward. We'll see this guy get bigger again. He'll just... There he goes. Growth stage. It's now morning time. This little guy is 100%. He is big. We can pick him up and move him around. We don't need super strength. We'll just plop him over here. And, well, things will continue to happen as we fast forward. Another magical pig will plop out of the sky here. There, one pig fell. And then he'll start to get bigger as time goes by. Their growth has happened. Another day has gone by. Their growth has happened again. So we don't have to move these guys. Oh, not quite. Whoops. We don't have to move these guys if we don't want to. They will just spawn another pig right beside. Just like that. And it's just going to continue to happen. So we can continue to have piglets just appear magically out of the sky. Our pigs here, over time, will just continue to reproduce until they are at max capacity of 30. Okay. And of course, we need to keep feeding them and putting straw in. And then our breeding pigs will continue to reproduce. You can see we've got one here. Now, as enough time passes, and we're going to go ahead and fast forward and see this happen, we will have animals die, and animal cadavers will spawn over at the pig breeding facility. Let's go ahead and jump over there. So we will see at some point in time dead pigs here, right here. And we're going to go ahead and fast forward the clock, and we'll have wait till some pigs appear here. Then we'll talk about what we do with these pigs once they have appeared. Now, we're not going to cover the butcher and what we do with piglets or what we do with all these pigs that we are reproducing. We're going to cover that in a second video. But in general, you can take any of the breeding pigs that reproduce or the regular pigs that reproduce and take them down to the animal dealer. The animal dealer will buy breeding pigs and regular pigs, but he will not buy piglets. Oh, sorry, he will buy piglets. I had that mistaken. So we can sell piglets at the animal dealer, we can sell breeding pigs at the animal dealer, and we can sell regular pigs at the animal dealer. Or, and what we'll cover in the next video, well, we can take our breeding pigs, our regular pigs, down to the butcher, and the butcher will process them into meat that we can then sell. And we can take piglets down to the butcher, and he will process them into something called suckling pigs. And we'll be able to then take them and sell them at village shops and at town people's houses for additional money. So let's just go ahead and fast forward time and, well, see what happens at the end of a breeding pig's life. So several days have gone by and, well, the circle of life has come and gone for a few of our breeding pigs here at the breeding facility. Life is hard and, well, sometimes life is cruel. So we have some carcasses to get rid of. And what we need to do is we need to, well, do the deed and put these in our truck, taking care And you might ask, well, what do we do with these? Well, we take them to the skinner. And we have to pay to have the skinner dispose of our deceased pigs. But there's also something else that we could do with our deceased pigs, and that is we could continue the circle of life and use them for compost. So we're going to demonstrate both of those things now. We're going to take a couple of these over to the skinner and see how much he's going to charge us to dispose of the bodies. And then we're going to take the other two back to the farm and, well, put them in our compost heap and let them do what comes of nature, I guess. Ash to ash, dust to dust, and all of that. Alright, so we've got our 4 carcasses loaded up. Let's head on up to the skinner. And you may have noticed when I was picking these up, they had a capacity to them. So the bigger they are, the more they're going to cost us money to dispose of. So here we are up at the skinner. And if we were going to get rid of all of them, then I would probably just back up onto the ramp. Since we're going to get rid of just hair. So that cost me $17. To get rid of that one. And $31 to dispose of that one. So let's head on back to the farm and I'll show you the compost heap, which we have not spoken of yet. So my process of thinking is, if I've got to pay the skinner to dispose of these bodies, why don't I just always put them in the compost pile? Because the compost pile is free, right? So here we are at the compost heap. We can left click to remove the planks, and you'll see the fill type is biomass. Basically anything that rots can go into here and turn into biomass. Well, deceased animal carcasses definitely fit that bill. So let's just pick this guy up and we will march him in here. And there we go. This guy didn't want to cooperate in life. He doesn't want to cooperate in death either. So guys, that is it. That is Hof Bergmann and pigs. So we talked about the breeding facility. We talked about the regular pig facility here at the main farm, as well as the furrowing barn and all of that. We're going to be talking about the butcher coming up and what we do, well, with all of these pigs that we are producing at the breeding center, as well as here at the main pig area, as well as over at the furrowing barn. Hope you all enjoyed the video today. If you did, please go ahead and click that like button. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the pigs or about anything else that we have already covered here on the Hof Bergmann Explained series. If you've got things that you want to see in the series that we haven't gotten to yet, please sure to put that in the comments. It is very likely a video that is coming up at some point in the channel, but always make sure to suggest it just in case I happen to have not already put it on the schedule. So until next time, happy farming.